Hello and welcome back. Today we will be going over The Kinderhook Plates Don't Prove Anything by Fairmormon. Let's do it.
One of the weirdest stories in church history is the story of the Kinderhook Plates, and obviously the CES letter cannot help but distort the story.
Oh, so we're just starting aggressive on this one? We're just...
Yeah.
Okay, all right, no, let's do it,
Okay, so what
Calling the document a lie or the author a liar. Take a sip.
are the Kinderhook Plates? 6 bell-shaped brass plates were brought to Joseph Smith to translate.
People were excited, and even apostles Parley P. Pratt and John Taylor talked about how Joseph probably would translate them. The only problem is, he didn't. Here to comment more are the Kinderhook Plates.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Dor. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hold on. Is she from Studio C? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear that looks like someone on Studio C. Okay, anyways.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here.
Glad to have you, Kinderhook.
Well, I'm a fraud. I was made by a couple of guys who wanted to prove Joseph Smith was a liar. So they crafted me up, and I assume expected Joseph to translate me through some divine means, like using the seer stone or some general inspiration.
Did that not happen?
No, he reached for his Hebrew lexicon and tried to find similar characters on me to the lexicon or other manuscripts.
Wait, so he didn't try to translate you the way he did the Book of Mormon or even like the Book of Moses or the Book of Abraham?
No. The closest we have to that is a quote attributed to Joseph Smith, but is actually from William Clayton saying, President Joseph has translated a portion and says they contain the history of the person with whom they were found.
Sorry. You won't get this unless you know Mormon history. I don't understand. I mean, I guess they're aiming it towards people who have no idea who William Clayton is. But that's the equivalent of saying, oh, yeah, there's this Brigham Young guy, but he didn't really have anything to do with Mormonism. Okay, let's talk about William Clayton for a second. He's not just some rando. He was Joseph's primary scribe throughout major portions of his life. He wrote sections of canonized scripture. This is one of the most important people in Joseph Smith history and one of the most important people in Mormon history, period. He is the person who is in charge of writing down all of Joseph's accounts, all of Joseph's translations after, I forget the exact year, but it's about 1835. But William Clayton is not just some guy. He is the foremost source on everything happening with early Mormonism. Okay, let's keep going.
And he was a descendant of Ham, through the loins of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and that he received his kingdom from the ruler of heaven and earth.
Well, where did he get that idea from?
Well, one of the symbols they forged on me was a boat-shaped symbol. It was in Joseph Smith. Am I pointing to it?
Yeah.
Okay. That symbol is present, and it's translated to honor by birth, kingly power, by the line of Pharaoh, possession of the birth, by one who reigns upon his throne universally, possession of heaven and earth, and the blessings of the earth.
Wait, Kinderhook, that sounds a lot like William Clayton's journal.
Yeah, it seems that Joseph looked at a few of the characters he thought was similar to the Egyptian alphabet lexicon he had, and he made a guess.
Huh. Kinderhook, what happened after that? Was the Book of Kinderhook published into a scripture? I mean, that would be pretty damning, you know?
No. Literally nothing happened. Joseph didn't try to translate me. He didn't make a Book of Mormon sequel out of me. He literally didn't mention me in any of his journals or to his friends. The only time he did was when he passingly requested for me to be sent to the Antiquarian Society of Philadelphia, France, and England.
So, to be clear, you were made to fraud Joseph and nothing happened.
Literally, I'm kind of honestly embarrassed about it. I mean, he didn't even care about me even slightly, like not even a little bit. He didn't pray to translate me. He looked at me once for like the symbol from his book, and then he ghosted me forever.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, but is there anything you want to say to your audience, or?
Well, I'm a fraud, but I'm glad to see that my great-grandson, the CES letter, is having a little more success than I did.
Okay. First of all, calling the document a lie or insisting that the author is a liar. Take a sip. Okay. Yes, one source said he tried to translate it through his own earthly translation abilities. Let's say he did. Never mind the William Clayton account, never mind the secondhand accounts from around Joseph. Let's just say that he did translate it completely through earthly means. Although they say that he never translated it several times, that is, the fair kids say that he never translated it several times, I'm just going to assume that's weasel wording for he never finished translating it, as it's contradicted by when they say he tried to translate it by using his handy Egyptian lexicon, and when they, quote parts of it that Joseph Smith translated. Okay, anyways, a few questions then. And keep in mind, this is completely assuming that Joseph Smith didn't use divine intervention in order to translate the Kinderhook plates. Okay, number one. Why the hell would Joseph Smith not try and translate it using the power of God? There was no way for him to know it was a forgery unless he was a complete mastermind of ancient Egyptian. But why didn't he try and translate it with the power of God? Did God not allow it? Did Joseph not want to? Did no one write down that he asked God and God was totally like, no, you can't do that because that's a fake? But why didn't he try and translate it with the power of God that he believes he has in order to translate ancient documents? And two, why didn't Joseph Smith see it was a fraud? Earlier I mentioned that he would have to be a master of ancient Egyptian in order to see that it was a fraud, but also he's claiming that he has a direct line to God. Apparently, with the whole 116 pages thing, he could see it was going to be turned into a fraud in the future. So wouldn't it be nice if God told him that the Kinderhook plates were a fraud then? Okay, and also, why doesn't Joseph clarify that he didn't try to translate it using godly powers? I mentioned this earlier, but the one source that states that he used a lexicon is a third-party non-Mormon journal. People believed that the Kinderhook plates were proof of his prophetic role for dozens of years, right up until it was disproven. Why didn't he say, oh, by the way, I'm translating as a man now, or God's not helping me on this one? Wouldn't the members find that sort of valuable? Wouldn't they want that in order to make sure, wouldn't they be led astray by the fact that Joseph didn't say that he wasn't translating that by God? And also, we're going to do SIP for saying that Joseph Smith is speaking as a man, as that is also on my documents, and that is what they claim in this video. Okay, that's about it. Thank you.